Hello there. We'd be perfectly honest with each other on what's going on. You know, I notice a lot of people just go about their daily business, go to their stupid 9-to-5 job, come home, stress about bills, have something to eat, go to bed, and repeat it once again, and nobody gives a thought to anything. What if, like a supercomputer, people were able to process a lot of information from different sources and had an intelligent conclusion based upon all available data? You know, I made a prediction, by the way, and no, I'm not claiming to be a prophet. Made a prediction in November and December, and you can confirm this for me because I mentioned it in many videos and I mentioned it endlessly in live stream, that I said everything that would come to crescendo somewhere in February to mid-March. So I gave myself a window of somewhere in the middle of February to about mid-March, and it's all coming true. Let's look at what's going on. Now, about 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, just like what they're doing in Australia, or they were doing last year, where they'd actually tighten their grip around your neck and then let loose and then tighten again, even tighter. I hear in Australia that things are actually getting a lot tighter down there, but nobody's paying attention to Australia because Canada is standing on the rooftop wearing a pink tutu, screaming at the top of their lungs as far as the craziness department. A lot of stuff actually came down in just the past 6 hours in Canada. But this video's not technically about Canada, even though Canada's done a whole lot of crazy stuff just in the past couple days. And by the way, this is interesting. I made a video about Russia and potential invasion of Russia rolling hard on Ukraine this week, or sometime in the next week, week and a half, right? I should have screen captured it. I actually had, believe it or not, it's real, Russian bots saying how great it would be for Russia to own Ukraine again. I looked them up as far as how long the people had accounts, and most of them didn't post anything. One person, a Russian bot, had posted 4 videos that were 30 seconds long or less. 4 videos, 30 seconds long or less. Each were 10 seconds, 30 seconds. And it was it's just some random stuff that they grabbed off the internet to prove they had content, even though, they were fake accounts. Don't you find that interesting? Actually, that shouldn't surprise me. I should have anticipated that. They were actually long, drawn out, intelligent, yet, of course, wholly propaganda-based statements from Russian bots in that video on Russia and the Russian invasion I made 72 hours ago or so. Yeah, it'd be a great thing. Be a great thing for, they didn't say it in those words, but that was the summation of what was said, 2 or 3 paragraphs on a couple Russian bots. And each Russian bot, which is extremely telling because, I already knew they were fake without reading and acknowledging the fact that after each Russian bot, there was a follow-up comment agreeing and giving supporting fake propaganda-based substantiation. You know how I know it's going to go down, or Russia's going to roll on Ukraine? Not the fact that there's 130,000 troops and endless tanks. It's the fact that RT and China are saying it ain't going to happen at all. It's just it's not going to happen. I know Russia quite well. I'm not saying I could read their minds, but when everybody tell you that to look over here, then what you should be doing is looking over here. By the way, I never took sides of Russia or Ukraine on that video. I love the Russians, and I've got friends with both Russians and Ukrainians, so. And I know some Russian will correct me. I think it's something 30 to 40% of Ukrainians are native Russians. Are Russian, ethnically Russians. I also found it extremely fascinating, however, nothing that the media does, shocks me at all, that a major news channel, I won't say which one, they were seriously, that is really, really telling. All of a sudden, when Russia is poised, everybody keeps talking about the United States and NATO. And I know all the crooked stuff the United States does. I probably only know half of the crooked stuff the United States does. the fact that this major news channel tonight, I won't tell you the show, I don't want to name them, they had a whole big episode dumping on Ukraine. Just dumping. They were the subliminal message of this major news channel that was dumping on Ukraine, the subliminal message of it. I'm not taking side on this one way or the other. It's like, the subliminal message was, when Russia rolls on Ukraine, they deserved it. That was basically, the undercurrent of this piece. It was a hit piece on Ukraine. That shouldn't have surprised me at all. I'm sure it doesn't surprise you at all. Really, nothing surprised me. Oh, by the way, this is fact too. Biden just ordered 3. Remember when I told you 72 hours ago in that Russia video that I knew some people that their loved ones, either very close or relatively close, were emergency ordered to pack up their stuff and ready to deploy. Well, Biden just ordered 3,000 more troops to Poland. Yeah. And also, too, some are actually been emergency deployed. I don't know if it's to Germany, one of the staging centers of the countless military bases that we have in Deutschland. Anyway, I've been saying for months now that something would, things would come to a head. The zit is about to pop. I've been saying for months. Round about mid-February to somewhere in March. I said that. I'm sure many of you can confirm that. The lies and the fake narrative, I knew that for many reasons, just keeping my eyes peeled and my head on a swivel, that the lies and the fake narratives are collapsing at terminal velocity. The lies and the fear-mongering are collapsing, so you have to have something else. Because if you believe, and every person is not conspiratorial anything, every person I've ever talked to, whatever side, they're left or right, don't care, they all admit that there's a reset going on. If all these same people who for the past 2 years have told me, and basically it's all of them, have agreed to the fact there's a reset. If you did think, and everyone I talked to did acknowledge that a reset was going to go on, then you knew that as this coof fear-mongering ended. By the way, I had coof last month, and I took a magic substance that I can't talk about on social media, which should really tell you everything. If you thought there was a reset going on, you knew as this whole coof stuff has imploded on itself, which it has because, other than the people that are scared of their own shadows, the Chicken Littles, everybody else with a half a brain is not afraid anymore. It's not. So you have to come up for the reset to keep going forward. Then we need a different narrative to take its place. Like the coof train has run out of steam. So we need to bring in another train with a head of steam for the reset to occur. Why has nobody mentioned that except for me? For years now, everybody's agreed with me. Not that I asked them. They told me or I asked them. It's like, do you think, even people that have been juiced and are complete sheep, it's like, do you think a reset's going on? Yeah, I sure do. Well, if you do, then the reset would be cut off right at the neck by the fact that the coof train and all the fear-mongering that's gone with it has run out of steam, which it has. Well, if that's the case, put 2 and 2 together. What's gone on in Canada in the past 48 hours is incredible. Global tyranny and upset is churning up so fast. Now, a lot of people have said, well, the face diaper and all the mandates and stuff have been dropped by Sweden and England and Ireland, and this is true, and a lot of states have dropped it. That's just because they're afraid of the midterm elections here in the United States. Justin just gave himself, first time ever in Canadian history. Many reports are that it's illegal. I don't even pretend to know anything about Canadian law. Many have said, that do know about it, said that it's illegal. Justin has granted himself emergency powers, and this is all over the news, not conspiratorial. Said that he'll seize and freeze the bank account of anyone in the Freedom Convoy or those in support of it. Also seizing crypto input incoming. A lot of people think that crypto is completely anonymous. I know there are various randomizers, but the United States government's been tracking crypto for a long time. That's not my opinion. I mean, that's a fact. I do track crypto. I mean, if you think that they don't, I mean, how delusional must you be? There are ways to hide it, but the average person, Joe Blow, that's donating, $50, $100 or whatever to the Canadian truckers, I mean, they're not hiding anything. They're just making a donation. I can't believe the stuff that's going on in Canada. It's absolutely off the hook. The bridge was shut down for a while, but now they've arrested the truckers and they've actually had tow trucks haul their trucks away. The White House themselves asked Canada to send in forces to end it. You've seen the videos too? These are real videos of the police that were stealing gas cans. The judge told them to give them back, but apparently that does not stick. There's a video, one guy is showing the cops stealing gas cans of a trucker. They use those to keep the trucks heated so they can, and they live in the back of the truck in the little cabin unit. They run the microwave and keep the heat going, and you got to keep diesel engines warm, or and they seize up. Not that I know anything much anyway about diesel semi tractor trailer engines. I know they have to be kept warm, especially when it's incredibly cold. He's like, "Hey, is that yours?" The guy stealing the gas can. The cop stealing the gas. And the cop said, "It is now." So the cops are stealing legally purchased gas from Canadian citizens. I don't know if you think that's tyranny or not. I'm not going to make a comment on that one way or another. What do you think about Pretty Boy Floyd? I'm sorry. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. His name is Justina. What do you think about him granting himself, first time ever in Canada, emergency powers? He said he's going to freeze people's bank accounts. I remember someone else doing that in history. His name was Joseph Stalin. That's a fact, too, by the way. You see the video of the cops assaulting some old guy, honked his horn. He wasn't in the Freedom Convoy. He's just driving through, and he gave his support to him. A short old man was honking his horn in solidarity. The cops, there's video of this all over. The cops are throwing him around, a short, old, elderly man, throwing him around, throwing him to the ground. There's pictures all over the internet of his bruises and his injuries where they threw this old man around for honking his horn. So, apparently Canada does not believe in peaceful protest, because in a short, elderly man honking his horn that's thrown around and bruised and sent to the hospital, I'm pretty sure, it was peaceful protest. Yeah, so the cops, and stealing legally purchased gasoline from the truckers. Give, Send, Go has had their funds frozen to the truckers. Remember when the thing that was seized, the evil entity that was shut down by the Canadian government, GoFundMe, remember that? The whole debacle about that, and then everybody started donating countless millions to the Give, Send, Go. Well, that's all been frozen. Canada is also threatened, it's in my opinion, it's a fact, publicly threatened anyone and everyone that helps aid to the truckers. So, let me get this right. Peaceful protest is illegal in Canada. I can only think, what other countries do that? North Korea. Who else does that? North Korea. Is there another country I could think of that does that? Canada, North Korea. Can you think of one? I can't think of any others where peaceful protest is completely illegal and old men honking their horns are thrown to the ground and brutalized by the police. Well, there was Germany back in the 40s. Yeah, but that doesn't count. We're going to talk about modern day. Modern day, North Korea, Canada. Yeah, maybe I've missed one. Maybe you could let me know what the third country may or may not be. Fascism. Sorry about that. I had about a cough. Sorry about that. This nanny state nonsense with 10 million laws and countless bureaucracy. All of this is literally coming to a head like a zit's gonna pop. I mean, I don't mean that personally or figuratively. Well, I do mean it figuratively. I was talking about zit popping. By the way, here's another fact. I don't care if you believe it or not, it's a fact. When you got 40 or 50% of the country working directly or indirectly for the government, then that country is doomed. Just pick any country. Directly or indirectly working from the government. You know, they're pencil pushing. It's my favorite pencil. It's got this giant lead in it. Don't you appreciate this? This is by a company. I used to collect fine writing instruments. Not the really, really expensive one, not like gold leaf stuff, but, you know, hard Kohinoor. Now, this is a modern piece. It's mostly plastic, but Kohinoor, oh man, good stuff. Look at how big that pencil lead is. There we go. I love fine quality writing instruments. 40-50% of the population working for the government. I'm going to edit that out of this video. You'll never see that part about me talking about the pencil with a love affair. By the way, happy Valentine's Day. People that, if you love freedom, and by the way, freedom is just another word for natural order. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody that loves freedom. And if you're in Canada and you love freedom, well, you might be in trouble, girlfriend. You're going to freeze the bank accounts of peaceful protesters in Canada. Let me think about it. North Korea, Canada. Yeah, I still can't think of another one. Maybe I've forgotten one. You could let me know. The crushing bureau. Just, why is nobody talking about this? Everybody with a half a brain knows a reset's going on. The COOF steam train that's been going down the tracks has run out of steam. You got to bring in something else. Fact, 3,000 troops to Poland. God knows how many thousands of troops are heading to Germany. Fact. We could talk about the false flag operation. We could talk about tail wagging the dog, but we have no evidence for that. What we do have evidence of is serious troop deployments by the United States to the borders. 130,000 troops on 3 different fronts. And by the way, I couldn't believe when I made that Russia video, people I guess just don't know anything about Russia or Ukraine. They must not. They're like, I don't believe you got 13 reasons why Russia wants Ukraine. Are you kidding me? There's like 1,000 reasons. I can just think of 13 off the top of my head. The one thing Russia regrets most of all is losing Ukraine in the breakup of the Sovietskого Soyuza. Yeah, Soyuz Sovietskих Socialistических Республик. Imagine I lived in Russia for 2 years and Russian English translator. Been to Ukraine. Lived in Russia for quite a long time. Ukraine is minerals, is strategic location. It has 25% of the topsoil. It's an agricultural breadbasket cornucopia that Russia ain't. Trust me, girlfriend, I've been over quite a bit of Russia, including places you never heard of. Russia is bleak. Like, damn, where am I? Death Valley? Like, cold version of Death Valley. Like, it's Death Valley, except it's cold. Nothing's gonna grow. Hardly nothing. Ask me again why Russia wants Ukraine, huh? Huh? It would be like the United States losing Canada. Let's say the United States was like the Soviet Union, and then the United States broke up, and then Canada and Texas. Well, I think of another agricultural breadbasket. Yeah, Florida and California both went their own ways, except they're like together. It's like, we got to get that back. We got all our fruits and nuts and all the really yummy stuff, and California, we got to get that back. There's a long laundry list of the reason why Russia wants Ukraine back. I couldn't believe the number of people. I guess that shouldn't surprise me. I think there is probably not one American in a million that has a clue where Ukraine is on the map, much less their strategic advantage, what they are, what they got. They got a lot. Yeah, and they got everything that Russia wants, and Russia bemoans that. And people say, well, the Russian people, they don't want this for Russia to roll in and bring Ukraine back in. From the perspective of your average Russian, including the Kremlin, Ukraine and Russia are one people. And when you consider the fact that ethnically it's something like 35-40%, it might be higher. I know it's at least that, of Ukrainians are ethnically Russian. They don't consider bringing it back. It's just like reattaching the leg that had been severed in a severe car accident. It's like, that's my leg. I got to get it sewn back on. And I know that's kind of funny, but that's exactly how Russia looks at Ukraine. My accidentally severed leg. Yeah, it's got to be sewn back. It's mine. It's not, it's not funny, but I mean, I kind of said that humorously, but that is how Russia looks at Ukraine. I can't believe people say, I don't know why Russia wants Ukraine. Really? That was shocking to me. I saw so many comments like that. Like, really? That's like sarcasm, right? I mean, that's rhetorical. Apparently, people don't know anything about Ukraine or why Russia wants Ukraine back. I've known for decades Russia really, really wants Ukraine back. I mean, it's ridiculous. But everything is falling, the false narratives and the lies. There's huge news that came out, way bigger than Watergate scandal. But interestingly, no news media, I can't talk about it because it's so hot. No news media, it makes Watergate look like, tripping over your feet or something by comparison. But no news media is talking about it. I can't talk about it because it's too hot of a topic. But it's huge news. But the fact that none except one news media outlet, none of the news media are reporting it, tells you everything. When you hear the crickets chirping on really, really big news, that tells you everything you need to know from corrupt people. They're just like, nothing to see here. Hope you don't notice. We're not going to talk about this. That's huge news. No one's talking about it. Doesn't it say a lot that I really can't talk about a topic that hot? Same way I couldn't talk about that stuff that I took that cured me overnight. I'm pretending this is a pill bottle, right, which is rock. Can't talk about it. It's like, what is it that I can't talk about it on social media? At least not this one anyway. So, congratulations to Canada. You're not allowed to have peaceful protests. And first time in all of Canada's history. Okay, Canada, Emergency powers. That's emergency. Remember when all the despots in history gave themselves emergency powers to do whatever they want? Remember that? Remember how many times that happened? Emergency powers! That's just a fancy way of saying, I get to do whatever I want. I don't like what you're saying. I'm granting emergency powers to myself to shut you up. That's what emergency powers are. I don't like what you're saying. I'm giving myself special emergency powers. That's kind of like where Superman twirls around in the telephone booth and he his suit and tie vanishes and all of a sudden he's got his cape and he's got his wonder suit on. Tyrannical powers unite! Choo! Emergency powers! I get to crush you now. It's not funny at all, Canada. Oh, Canada. I'm not picking on Canada, by the way. I am picking on tyranny. Anybody that doesn't pick on tyranny has a screw loose, by the way. That's the reason, that's the correct way emergency power should be looked at. I only had the power to crush you! Oh, I know. I'm going to grant myself emergency powers. Now I can crush you and shut you up. That's exactly what happened today in Canada. Look it up if you don't believe me. Jesus frickin' Christ.